Well, good evening, everyone. Sorry about my being a little bit late this evening for our live at 5. We're just going to do live at 5:30. It's the final day of celebration, so things for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators are a little crazy, but I think I have a handle on it now, and we are good to go. So thanks for joining me tonight, or for the replay, or on my YouTube channel later this evening when I get it uploaded. Welcome to Live at 5. My name is Mary Bush. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. My page on Facebook is Stampin' in the Sand, and that's how you can find me here on YouTube or on my blog as well. Just do a Google search for Stampin' in the Sand and you will find me. So welcome to my Live at 5 card class. Tonight we're going to be playing with some designer series paper that's only available through the rest of this evening, called the Flowering Foils Specialty Designer Series paper. You'll find that in the Celebration second release. So if you jump on over to my online store and you go to the Celebration tab, it's under the second release products. If you have a brochure in your hands, it's on page 3, and it's a beautiful rose gold and silver foil debossed imagery on whisper white, and it can be colored, it can be left plain. You can use your Stampin Blends, you can use your brayer watercolor if you have a light hand, the blender pens, watercolor pencils. There's just a whole bunch of different ways that you can color this paper, or you can just leave it plain on the front of your card and it'll be just as gorgeous. So just some housekeeping before we get started. Once again, it's the final hours of celebration, so it's your last chance to grab those freebies for your orders of $50 increments or more. One thing I discovered last night that I was kind of after I discovered it was the red rhinestone jewels and the mini Stampin' Up! Shipping boxes that were added in the third release. I didn't notice it says ×2. So if you have a $50 purchase and you want to redeem for the red rhinestones, you're actually going to get 2 packages, and those have a $7 value each. So you're getting $14 worth of rhinestones for a $50 purchase. And again, on the mini shipping boxes, it's ×2. Read the fine print, Mary. So instead of getting 8 shipping boxes, you would get 16 for free with a retail value of $5 each or $10. So I kind of was going, I didn't even realize that until I was inputting orders last night. We also have the Follow Your Art Designer Series paper, the Dino Roar Designer Series paper, and the Woven Threads Designer Series paper from our annual catalog. We also have the Shimmer Detailed Laser Cut Specialty paper, your Rococo Rose Stampin' Blends. All of those are at the $50 tier, and the Butterfly Duet Punch and the Wild Rose dies, which we're going to use tonight and have used in prior classes, are at your $100 tier. Also, do not forget about our coordination product release. This was released early in February, but tonight is the last night. So to get your Nature's Thoughts dies, your Special Day dies, your Ladybug dies, Sending Flower dies, the birthday dies had actually sold out, and your Pleased as Punch Designer Series paper add-ons, those will be expiring this evening as well. And another thing I figured out while I was playing is if you have your Pleased as Punch Designer Series paper that coordinates with all those great stamp sets and punches that are in the mini catalog, you can stamp your tulip images directly on this art from the Designer Series paper, and you can just add that extra little oomph to the Designer Series paper images. They line up just perfectly. So you can see right here, I've stamped the tulip from the stamp set versus the imagery from the Designer Series paper has just kind of that watercolored spatter look, but look at the difference when you just add that that stamp that coordinates with the punch. So then you can just punch that out with your punch and add it on your project, and it'll look so much more detailed. You don't have to color or anything. It's all done there for you. So I thought that was kind of fun. I just have to make a card with it now. All right, and then my last bits of housekeeping are, don't forget, tonight is the last night to order your Ornate Garden Suite products when you join the Stampin' Up! Family as a pre-order. And tomorrow it goes live for all customers and all demonstrators alike. So we played a lot with this in class. What was it, last night? All the nights are running together now. We just used this suite quite a bit. And it's a really great suite. You're going to be really excited to get your hands on it. We have our stamp sets with that great font and great greetings and imagery. We also have those fantastic dies. All of that is available if you watch the replay of last night's class, where I showed all the different layers of the dies and how they cut out, and we even use them on some projects. So hop on over and watch the replay, and you'll see all of this Ornate Garden Suite in full detail. I also have opened up the enrollment for my April Stampin' in the Sand Hostess Club. If you're interested in joining my club, all you have to do is place a qualifying order of $35 or more and enter the April Host Club host code, which is this one right here. You can screenshot it, jot it down, whatever you need to do. It's also available here on my Facebook page, and I'm also going to be posting it when this goes live to YouTube. If you're not interested in joining club but would like to participate in my Live at 5 make and takes and earn some freebies with Celebration, just enter my make and take host code at checkout. There's no minimum order necessary. So if you enter this host code at checkout, you will be receiving an assortment of my make and takes for the projects that we're doing this week on my Live at 5s. So it's just going to be a random assortment of make and takes. You will need the stamp sets that we used in the classes. I'm not allowed to send out stamped images per Stampin' Up! Policy, but I can send you all the necessary materials, all pre-cut, pre-scored, etc. I just cannot provide those stamped images. So you would need the stamp sets that we use to create the cards. There will be there's more information on my Hostess Club posted here on my blog and linked through YouTube. So this information is there for you everywhere. Okay, well, let's get started with tonight's projects because I still have a lot more Celebration to do tonight and dinner to make, etc. And I'm sure all of you do too. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start with some basic pre-cut card fronts from this gorgeous Celebration Designer Series paper. If you haven't had a chance to grab this for yourself, you still have time. Once again, this is called Flowering Foils. I'm just going to open up a pack of it quickly before we start. I just don't want to do it under the light because there'll be a hideous glare. So this is the paper that comes in the pack. We have this large imagery here. This flower reminds me of the Magnolia Suite, as well as some of the recent, one of the recent paper pumpkins, I think, had an image like this in it as well. So this one has the rose gold as well as the silver foil. They're plain on the back, so you don't have to worry about what's on the back side. It's just plain. This one has the rose gold foil in this random kind of check pattern. You get multiple sheets of each. This one has a smaller flower print on it, and this has the rose gold as well as the silver foil. It's just a smaller scale flower. So you get three sheets of each pattern. And then this one we're going to be using today. This one just has like a all over flower motif. And again, there's multiple sheets of each pattern. So what I've done is I have cut ahead of time 2 pieces that are 4 inches by 5 1/4. And after I cut those, I was left with this 1.5 inch piece down at the bottom. This basically follows our love it, chop it, chopping method. I also need a piece of scrap paper that I can't reach, just out of reach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pieces, and first I need to cut this strip in half. And the perfect way for me to do that is with the little mini chopper that you can get when you join my Stampin' Up family, but only through this evening, and then it goes away. And you can't even buy this little chopper. You can only get it in a starter kit. So I'm cutting this in half. So I took my 1.5 inch and I'm cutting it down to 3/4. So I've got 2 little strips there. One for each of my cards. And then I'm going to bring in some Stampin' Blends. So we're going to start with our light Granny Apple Green and a light Melon Mambo. And I'm just going to color, if I can get the cap off, 1 flower on each panel. So you just pick a flower. And of course, I think I need my glasses for this. As I said last night, I do not want to be putting my head under the camera. I don't even know where my glasses are. I took them off so long ago because I can't see I need, when I'm close to the image, I can't wear my glasses, but when I'm this far away, I need my glasses. Isn't that lovely? Ugh, I'll tell you. They convinced me not to get bifocals, but I may just have to take the leap because this is kind of silly. I might just have to try bifocals for stamping. Craziness, let me tell you. All right, I gotta bring this closer to my face. Look at how off I was. Good grief. I can't be the only one, right? Good grief, Mary. You didn't even come close on some of that. Guess it's better to be too far in the lines than it is to be out of the lines, right? Ugh. Okay. All right, so there's that one. And then I'm going to come in on this little tiny strip and I'm going to color the whole thing. But because these are blends and they're the alcohol markers, I'm trying to avoid the silver foil as much as possible. If it was water-based ink, I wouldn't have to worry about it because it wouldn't color the silver foil at all. And I would be able to just wipe it off. But these alcohol markers will color just about everything. All right. Sorry, this is tedious. I guess I could have done this ahead of time, but I was running late enough as it is. So what have you all been up to so far this week? Are you sheltering in place? Are you still working? See, I hit the foil on that one. Are you still having to work? Are you essential? Are you home alone all day? Tell me what's up. What am I missing out in the world? Because I am home, just me and my dogs. There's nobody else around. I'm beginning to get a little stir crazy. But I guess it's better to be stir crazy than sick, right? Because I can't afford to get sick. Because then there'll be no one to take care of my dogs. So I can't get sick. Okay. Oh, Linda, thank you for asking. He is, he's hanging in there. He, I don't know what I've updated with everyone with lately, but, he had his first chemo on Thursday. And was it Thursday? Oh my gosh, the days are running together. This is cut wrong. I'm going to have to trim that with my trimmer. I don't know what the heck I was thinking when I cut that. I'm just going to flat adhere this designer series paper to this piece of Melon Mambo. And I want it to be 1/8 of an inch wider all the way around. But apparently I'm cut that wrong. So I'm going to adhere it, and then I can use that handy little trimmer to trim that off. So he had his first treatment, I guess it would have been last Thursday. Gosh, the time is flying. Then of course he was going to try to fly home, even though I know that's not the best thing for him. He wanted to come home so badly because he's still up in Massachusetts. And then things got really bad with the coronavirus, and states started going into lockdown on who could fly in and out of the state without a mandatory 14-day quarantine. And he needs treatments every 21 days, so he can't come home and then quarantine for 14 days because he would miss the treatment. So I don't know when I'll see him again. We have absolutely no idea when I will see him again. So it's a little stressful, not knowing when we'll be together again. But if we can both stay safe, I guess that's the important part, right? We'll worry about the rest later. Okay, so now I just neatly trim that down closer to the size I wanted. And I also need to bring in my trimmer because I need some pieces for the inside of my card. So I'm going to cut those 4 by 5 1/4. Even though I'm using thick whisper white for my card base. I think I neglected to tell you that. And this is 5 1/4, right? I still want an extra layer. And actually, I'm going to cut this down here because it's closer to my eyes. Instead of having to look way up there. All right. So now I have the bits for the inside of my card. So this decorative little piece is just going to get added to the bottom for the inside. All right. Yeah, Wendy, I always try to do the inside of my card at the exact same time I'm doing the outside of the card. Because there's nothing worse than going to send a card and you realize that you never finished the inside. Okay, So on the inside of my card, I'm going with a thank you theme because, as I've been talking about, I've needed a lot of thank you cards lately because of all the wonderful cards that I'm getting from friends and family for support of Roger and I and all we're going through. Okay, so I want this Thanks Big Time. This is from Will Walrus Be Friends, and I've been using the greetings from this stamp set so much. I can't even begin to tell you how much I use that. And I need a block. You won't believe that I actually thought I was prepared. It's not looking like I was, but I thought I was. Okay. So these little skinny strips that we always seem to end up with after we cut down our cardstock are great for greetings and messages like this. So I'm just going to ink that up in the Melon Mambo. And I'm going to stamp it. I just need to leave a little bit of room over here. Oop, I cut an edge. Ugh, I hate when that happens. That's better. I didn't catch an edge on that one. Okay. So we're going to put that aside. Now I just need my snips. So I've got my Thanks Big Time. Get the one that didn't catch an edge. Then I'm going to just come in with the triple banner punch. Slide that down, and I just want a banner edge. Banner one edge. Oh, that was close. Oh, man, I made that tight, didn't I? Holy cow. All right, well, you know what? We're going to cut this down so it's tight on this side, too, as opposed to me having to mess around and stamp another one. Then I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I want some of this edge piece here. I'm going to just lay that, figure out which one's the top. Just put that right there. I want this on the front of my card. Just got to figure out where I want it though, because I kind of want it over a flower, but I don't want it so low. I think that'll be good right there. Okay. Then, don't tell, I have some coordinating ribbon, but it's not Stampin' Up ribbon. It came out of my stash. I found it when I was unpacking some packing boxes from the move. Yes, I am still unpacking packing boxes. It's been 2 years. We still have boxes all over the house. What can I say? A lot's happened in the 2 years since we've been here. But look at how pretty this is. It matches like perfectly. Just don't tell. Came out of my stash. Okay. So there's my ribbon. These are not my ribbon scissors. That did not cut good. I think I want this one a little shorter. Okay, so there's my ribbon. Get all this mess out of my way. And then I realized I did that wrong. That's not how I was going to do it. I was going to have it go through the whole card because I'm still on my kick of not wanting my cards to be too thick. So I'm trying not to do too many layers or have it be too heavy, because I really just want to put a stamp on my card, carry it to the end of the driveway, put it in the mailbox, and not have to go to the post office. and stand in line and get it weighed. I think that's just too stressful for me and too stressful for the clerks at the post office. The least people they can come into contact with, the better. All right, let's see if you think I can get this on the front of the card. Or am I going to have to tie another one? I'm going to tie another one. I didn't leave myself enough room. I was talking. That's what happens when I talk about stuff other than the project I'm making. I get all discombobulated. That's when mistakes happen. All right, just focus, Mary, focus. Focus on the card at hand. All right, let me get my scissors back in. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, at least I saved that because I knew I had a mistake as soon as I went to figure out what I was supposed to be doing next. Knew the card wasn't going together right. All right, I'm not happy with that knot, but I'll fix it later. Okay, so now I need, I need my rhinestones and I need my blend, and I'm just gonna color in one of these big rhinestones with my Stampin' Blends. So if you have Stampin' Blends, you can have any color rhinestone you want. And then I found my glasses. I'm looking for my tweezers, but I found my glasses. Oh my gosh, Mary, I'll tell you. I had the tweezers, here they are. Found the tweezers. All right. Of course, this one's stuck like molasses. My gosh. Okay, so we're gonna just pop that right in the middle of the flower. And then for the inside of the card, we need that Melon Mambo again. I better put the cap on my glue. And then for my greeting, because remember, I'm sending my thank you cards. I had the stamp set. What the heck did I do with it? I'm going to use the Abstract Impressions stamp set, and I'm going to use If Flowers Were Hugs, I'd Send You 1,000. I think that's appropriate for a thank you card, don't you? Especially in today's world, when not only do we need to send a lot of hugs for all the support we're getting in today's times, but we're not allowed to hug. All right, that's an accident waiting to happen. Let me just clean that off. Hold on a second. Making a mess. I've come this far. I'm not ruining the card with ink from my block. All right. So I'm going to put that in there. We're going to close this up so we don't wreck anything. So if we have thanks big time, if flowers were hugs, I'd send you 1,000. I think that's pretty appropriate. Okay. Just going to add a little adhesive. Adhere this to the inside. Hoping it's straight. And there we go. So there's our first card. So it's all kind of, silvery. Just brought in a little bit of color with that, my gosh, blech. Melon Mambo. Can't say that 10 times fast because I couldn't say it once. And then we have materials to make a second card, but you get the idea. So what I did this is the first one I made. So you can see it's exactly the same. And then with the second piece, I just used the Granny Apple Green ink blend and the Granny Apple Green ink, and I have the same thanks big time, the same flagged greeting, the same pick one flower on our panel. I colored my blend with the Granny Apple Green blend. Oh my gosh, did I just say I colored my blend with my blend? I colored my rhinestone with the Granny Apple Green blend. My gosh, what a day. Can't get it out. And then on the inside, I stamped the if flowers were hugs, I'd send you 1,000 in the Granny Apple Green, and I colored my strip on the bottom with the Granny Apple Green. So that's 2 cards from 1 strip of the designer series paper. Okay. And again, this ribbon, it just so happens to perfectly coordinate, and it came out of my stash as well. If I were to do this with Stampin' Up ribbon from the current catalog, I would use the white ribbon with the silver edge. I received this card in the mail today. Isn't that just the most awesome card? My friend Danette, who's on our team, she made this card for me. And I think this ribbon would look equally as gorgeous on this silver foil. I just don't own any. And I didn't want to take her card apart to steal her ribbon. But that's what I would have used. So there is the first card for today. All right. We have another card. And again, we're going to use the silver foil, silver and rose gold foil. This time we're going to use this large flower print here that reminded me of the magnolias. I have some Granny Apple Green cardstock. This time I cut this 3 3/4 by 5. Then I cut the panel for it 1/8 of an inch larger, so I would just have a little sliver showing. And again, that's in Granny Apple Green. And then this is a Daffodil Delight card base cut at for the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So on this card, what I did is I said I cut my panel down 3 3/4 by 5. This time we're going to color with our light Daffodil Delight. We're going to use light Pumpkin Pie, and we're also going to use the light Granny Apple Green. And what I want to do is choose a flower that is in a nice position to have on the front of a card. And I could, if I wanted it to go landscape, I could use this flower down here. But I think I'm going to have this one go portrait, and I'm going to use these 2 here. So it'll be a little bit more coloring, but I think it'll really ground that card nicely. So I've got my light Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to color the leaves with that. Again, as doing the best I can to avoid the silver foil and trying to avoid getting my head under the camera. And with my leaves, I'm not bringing them all the way to the flower. I'm trying to make it look like a little bit of a watercolor look, even though I'm using the blends. So just bear with me a little bit while I color. Maybe I should have done the single one over there, then I'd have less coloring for you to have to bear with. But that's all right. You can open another tab on your computer and scroll Pinterest while I babble and color. So the light Pumpkin Pie I'm going to use in the center. And then the Daffodil Delight is going to be for the main flower. And if you wanted to spend more time with your coloring, you could certainly bring in your dark daffodil. But I'm just trying to do this a little quicker, but I also didn't want to make it too stark. You know, I didn't want a terrible contrast between the white background and the flower. And once I put it all together, you'll see how this little bit of light Daffodil Delight really pops. I know it's really hard with the lighting and the glare off of the embossing to see how it's all going to shape up, but trust me, it looks really pretty when we're done. I feel like my marker wants to give up the ghost. Okay, so actually what I'm finding really interesting is because I'm trying to color blind as a bat, I didn't color it all the way. There's actually some white area in there, and I'm actually really liking that. So I think I'm going to leave it. I think I like it. It makes it look a little bit more watercolored and less colored with the blends. Isn't that interesting? All because I'm blind and can't see that far away to color without sticking my face under the camera. I think that looks pretty nice. Okay, so let's get to adhering this together. I just dropped a stamp. So this is going to get flat glued onto our green background. Yes, exactly, Darlene. I think that's exactly what it is. The white makes it pop even more. So that was a happy accident, right? All right. I will be happy if they fix my air conditioning upstairs tomorrow so that I can be back in my craft room and out of the dining room. I feel like a fish out of water. Need to get back into my craft room. And I'm tired of running up and down the stairs every time I need something. All right. Then I ran out of the Daffodil Delight ruched ribbon before it went on back order. So I'm bringing in some old tried and true. This is actually Daffodil Delight 1/4 inch grosgrain from 10 years ago. And I still have spools and spools and spools of these ribbons. I had just finished collecting the whole entire color assortment of this ribbon because they had tons of colors that were available in this. And as soon as I finished collecting all my colors, they discontinued the ribbon. So I have tons of it in all these colors. And you got so much of it on a spool that I don't know when I'll ever use it all. But when it starts getting down to the end, I'll be hoarding it and I won't want to use it because then it'll be gone forever. But I've had it for years. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you. Years and years. Okay, but it's Daffodil Delight, so it's gonna do. If I had any of that it's crinkled seam binding. The Daffodil Delight crinkled seam binding that's in the mini. But I don't have any more. I ran out. All right, what did I do with my dimensionals? This card is gonna go up on dimensionals. I did not tie the ribbon around the inside of the card like I did on the first one. So, I'm going a little crazy with the dimensionals, I think. I don't think you need that many. Oh well, card's not going to fall apart. And I just used the dimensionals to hold down that ribbon on the back side. Okay, oops. I don't know. Do I need this? I think I still need this. Nope, I don't think I need that anymore. I can get rid of that. All right, so this is going to go down on the front of the card, and I want to make sure it's straight. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm still making thank you cards. So I'm going to turn to the Beautiful Bouquet stamp set, and I'm going to use Thanks a Bunch for that. And I guess I'll just use the same block. So I've got that. I've got my Granny Apple Green ink. I need a scrap of Whisper White. Just gonna stamp that down in the corner. Put this away so I don't make a mess. Then I want to die cut it with the smallest stitched shape circle from the Stitched Shapes Framelits dies. So this is the smallest one that fits right there. And through the magic of being prepared, I've already done that for us, so I don't have to grab the Big Shot and lug it up here. I also want a couple of leaves in the Granny Apple Green to coordinate, and I've already die cut those for us. And those come from the Wild Rose dies that are currently available as a $100 level celebration item. So you can get the set of dies for free with a $100 order in my online store if you select it at checkout as your celebration freebie. So that's this leaf right here. So it gives you that nice intricate leaf. So this is what it looks like when you're done. And we're going to put that on the front of our card with dimensionals. So all I'm going to do is think about where I would like that. I think actually it would look really cute right there under the ribbon, wouldn't it? All right. Now I just have to think about where I want the leaves. I didn't do that right. So I'm thinking have a leaf come down there. Maybe a leaf come up over the ribbon there. Yes, I think that would look pretty. So let's see. Actually, we should just stick them on. Ay, that missed. Hold on. Peel that up a little bit. Come on, ribbon. Don't fight me. I'm going to tuck that under the dimensional there. The circle's going to sit there. So I'll move this dimensional. So this one is going to go there. I probably need another dimensional at the very bottom. All right, so So peel this paper off of that one. Then I want my thanks a bunch. So that can go there, and then the ribbon can come down on top of that. I just don't like, I think this leaf is going to have to go under over there. And apparently that doesn't want to stick. All right, so there's the front. And then on the inside, what I did is, again, when you cut this down, your 3 3/4 by 5, then that's your strip, 3 3/4 inch strip. So you go down to 5, then you go down to 5 again, so you can have 2 card fronts. Then you're left with 2 inches at the bottom, a little 2-inch strip at the bottom, if you're following me. I was trying to figure out how to make that work for doing a panel for the inside of my card. And no matter how I chopped it, it just looks stupid. So what I ended up doing is there was a couple of flowers in the strip that was at the very bottom, that 2-inch strip. So I colored it with my blends, and then I just fussy cut it out and flat glued it to the paper. And you can't even tell that it's not part of the paper. Isn't that amazing? And then I just used the Granny Apple Green again and used my same, if flowers were hugs, I'd send you 1,000. So we could use the same message for the inside of our card as we did on the first cards. Adhere that to the inside. And isn't that pretty? And this is the one that I made to work off of today. So the only difference is with the way that the flowers were laid out on the designer series paper when I chopped it, I chose to do landscape instead. So again, I colored my 2 images with the light Daffodil Delight, filled in the leaves with the light Granny Apple Green. I have my light Pumpkin Pie for the centers. And then again on the inside, I strategically fussy cut one of the flowers and flat glued it. And once it's down, you can't even tell that it's not part of that paper. There's almost no bump or anything. It just looks like it's part of that paper. And then have the, if flowers were hugs, I'd send you 1,000. So there's the one that we just made. There's the one that I worked off of. And then we have our Granny Apple Green single flower and our Melon Mambo. So isn't that pretty? So if you haven't grabbed your designer series paper from Celebration, you might want to run over, place your $50 qualifying order to grab some of this for yourself, because I've made all these cards and I've hardly even used half a sheet of one piece. So there you go. Little strategic coloring, little strategic color assortment, and we've got a stack of cards ready to go. So thanks everybody for joining me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the cards. I know they're super simple and quick and easy, but you know what? Sometimes that's what you need, is quick and easy, simple, not a whole lot of having to think heavy about it. And who couldn't use a stack of thank you cards in this day and age, right? All right, well, thank you very much, like I said, for joining me. I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. Don't forget, Celebration ends tonight, so it's your last opportunity to grab your Celebration freebies or sign up to be a demonstrator so that you can start taking advantage of that discount. And our family is growing by leaps and bounds, and I'd love to have you join us. So if you've been considering it, you can go over to my website and click the Join Now button and read all about it there, or feel free to message me, text me, private message me, however you want if you have any questions. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. We have a storm rolling in, and I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad. And it's already raining. So it's a good time to sign off before the thunder starts cracking. So I will see you guys soon. Again, have a great night. Stay safe. Practice your social distancing. And I will see you next time. Good night, everybody. Bye.